Oh yeah, tough girls rock. Yes, we do. Now, what do I mean by tough? I don't mean like, that you're maybe especially athletic, although you could be, but I mean that you are tough in the sense that you have shown an incredible amount of mental and emotional fortitude in having overcome so many challenges in your life and continuing to move forward, accomplishing, doing, making things happen, and really just being successful despite those obstacles, challenges, or even perhaps some circumstances that you had to overcome. You're maybe a successful businesswoman, maybe a phenomenal single mother. You are a very loyal friend, ride or die, right? Just good, right? Succeeding in all these areas. But here's a question for you. But when it comes to your love life, do you feel like you're not having as much success there as you would like? Do you feel like when it comes to your love life, it's hard for you to put down that tough exterior and to really show your softer side, that there's some fear around vulnerability there? Then you're going to enjoy this video. I'm Coach Jamila, and I'm a transformation life coach. I help strong, driven, highly successful women to crush their pattern of toxic relationships with men, to overcome their secret struggles with lack of self-confidence, self-doubt, and that all-time favorite, negative self-talk, or that really critical inner voice. We all have her. She's in our head, but we have to tame her. And that's what I help my clients do, is to tame her so that they are not constantly beating themselves up all the time. So back to the topic at hand, being softer or showing up more vulnerable. When you're tough and you've always had to be tough, sometimes this can be the result of some negative experiences that have happened with some very significant men in your life, right? Maybe it was a situation with your father. Maybe it was some trauma, some abuse, some abandonment, whatever. And so you really kind of have a negative view or connotation of men. It could even show up with your child's father. Perhaps the relationship between him crumbled and broke down. Now, even if he's a good dad, but between you and him, it didn't work out. And again, it left you disappointed and hurt. Now, what that does is it makes you even less likely to want to open up and be vulnerable to anyone else because you don't want to get hurt. And so the problem with that is it also makes it hard for you to trust anyone else. So let's just get it. You don't want to let your guard down. You're afraid of being vulnerable, and you don't feel like you can trust anybody else, any other man. Again, you're like, I'm done. I'm not. Okay, so the problem with all that is if you've got a wall up and you're unwilling to be open to being vulnerable and trusting, then you're not ever really truly going to be able to connect with anyone, and certainly not a man, in a relationship. So see, the issue is not that, you need to show up in such driven by so much fear. The issue is that you need to be dealing with men who have the same goals for relationship. Like if you want to be married, that you're dealing with men who are on the same page and wavelength as you. I did another video talking about this. I'll link it, but I wanted to talk specifically about this, showing your softer side, because this is a requirement. Because even if you did find a good man, you're going to end up sabotaging the relationship because you will always be looking for something to go wrong, looking for the other shoe to drop. And then if he does make a mistake, you're going to harp on it so bad and not let it go and be so unforgiving that you will run him off and be totally unreasonable about it. And all of that will have absolutely nothing to do with him, but more to do with you and your unresolved hurt and pain that you're bringing to the table from your past relationships, okay? So that all has to be dealt with. So we want to do a little bit of what do I want to say, investigating, okay? Because this is one of the key ways that I get started with all of my clients is I'm going to ask you a ton of questions. I want to know the story, right? I want you to start at the beginning. And so I want you to really think about it, and I want you to start at the beginning, and I want you to really allow yourself to go there and figure out, where did this all start? What was the first relationship where I really got hurt and disappointed? When did the guard go up? Usually it's in childhood where all these things start, okay? And for me, in my particular niche and the women that I serve and the areas that I help them to overcome, this is their point A. This is where they're starting, is these issues really are originating in childhood. And that's because when we're children, we don't have the capacity to process certain situations and certain emotions. And so we develop coping mechanisms. And one of those is putting up a wall or shutting down our emotions, or, things like that, that really cause us to kind of become like an armor, as it were. And then we carry that into our adult life, and we end up playing out into our patterns and showing up guarded all the time. So like I said, even if something good did show up, we probably missed it or repelled it because we're so unwilling to allow ourselves to be open to it. But here's the catch. Because if our pattern is one of toxicity, when we have let our guard down, it has been to the wrong guy, only confirming the fears that and insecurities we had, and thereby making us add more bricks and things to the wall. Because when a good guy shows up and we have a pattern of toxicity, that type of a man, the way he's treating us is so unfamiliar, it feels uncomfortable. And so we will usually tend to sabotage the relationship or end it for some reason because it's just too uncomfortable. We're just not used to dealing with a good man. It's true. It's true. If you're a pattern, if you're drawn to toxicity, even unknowingly, you're not going to be really in a relationship with a good guy for too long because it's just too unfamiliar. It's just too weird. Like, is this true? You just won't trust the situation. Now, that doesn't mean it always has to be that way. In fact, it does not have to be that way at all. I know for me and my clients, we nip this stuff in the bud in 3 months. In 3 months of working together one-on-one in my premium unlimited coaching program, okay? Now, let me just let you know that once you go through this little bit of investigative work, looking back, identifying, where was the first time when this guard went up, really allow yourself to think about that story. Get in touch with the feelings around it. And if there's some grief there, if there's some pain there, allow yourself to process those feelings. In fact, what you want to do is, as those feelings are coming up, name them. I feel anxious. I feel sad. I feel overwhelmed. I feel powerless. I feel helpless. Whatever it is, just say the emotion out loud. That allows your body to release it. It's being acknowledged, it's being released, and work through it that way, okay? So that you don't feel like you're just going back to some dark, painful place and then just sitting in it. No, even with me and my clients, we're going to go there, but we're not going to sit in anything. The point is to find out where the issue started, the root of the problem, and deal with it. We don't deal with symptoms. I don't deal with symptoms. We fix the problem so the symptoms go away. All this stuff that we're talking about, these are symptoms. The problem started much earlier. And so that's what it is I want you to figure out by doing this little bit of investigative work, allowing yourself to release those emotions, and then giving yourself permission to want something different. And if you're not sure on exactly what that is, usually step one is you have to get clear on who you are. Because when you've been showing up as a tough girl, when you've been pushing forward despite obstacles and hard circumstances, one of the things you probably haven't done is taken a whole lot of time, a lot of quiet time to self-reflect and really figure out who you are and what your needs are and what you would need from a man as far as his qualities and characteristics to bring out the best in you. Because if your goal is to be in a relationship, you want to be with someone that's going to bring out the best in you. So what type of qualities and characteristics would he have to possess in order to, when you guys come together, it allows you to always be at your best? If you've typically been in relationships with men that are always keeping you on the offensive to where you feel like you're always yelling, negative, just always on edge, that's emotional combat. So that means those qualities and characteristics of that particular type of guy are not what's going to help bring out the best in you. You're looking for the guy whose personality and way of being allows you to stay calm and happy and in that state of mind where you are truly you. The tough girl version is not necessarily you. She's who you had to be to survive, to overcome. But to function in a normal, healthy, loving relationship, you have to take that off and allow you, yourself, the real you to show up. sometimes, like I said, you haven't had the opportunity to really get to know who she is. So you need to take some time and do that. And sometimes that means spending a period of time not being in a relationship, really doing some self-reflection, really doing some personal development. And if you are looking for someone to help you through that process, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. You could DM me through Instagram, or you could book a free consultation. But I work, again, with my clients one-on-one in my 3-month premium unlimited coaching program, where we focus on crushing that pattern of toxic relationships with men, and then helping you to overcome those struggles with, that negative self-talk, lack of confidence, and self-doubt. Particularly when it comes to you dealing with being in a relationship, okay? So if that makes sense, let me know. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment, share it with a friend if you found it useful. If there's anything else you would like for me to elaborate on or maybe mention in another video, by all means, comment below. And I look forward to seeing you here. And I hope that you found this video valuable and helpful. Thank you for watching.